I did join computer science. But at the same time, the same company, they had a fashion designing also. But the overpowering heat of Delhi, which I couldn't bear, I wanted to be inside the AC, and I wanted to utilize my idle time. I joined fashion designing. That happened in my life. I didn't have any plan that I wanted to be a fashion designer. I never thought of doing that in my life throughout that time. But I joined. Just that I'll get a chance to be inside in the AC, and I'll utilize my time. Because I didn't want to waste my time. I wanted to utilize my time. So at the same time, I was doing computer science, and I was doing fashion designing also. After completion of the course, when I came back at Mandu, I straight joined Standard Chartered Bank, Baneswar, as the capacity of assistant. Both my parents were banker, so I had a one option straight that what I wanted to do. My studies finished and what to do. So I joined Standard Chartered Bank, but being a science student, never knew about what is debit and credit. But I was in a reconciliation department. A lady who had to teach me what is debit and credit, she used to tell me, Shailja, I'm not a Radio Nepal, I'll not repeat. You have to learn in a day or two, I'll not teach you. What I used to do, whatever she used to tell me, that I used to note down, and I used to go back and I used to sit with my parents and I used to ask them what's and how it will happen. They were my guidelines that time. My mother was my teacher during that time, and then I started my journey in reconciliation. One day, my father, during my lunchtime, he called me in my office. I was sounding very low. He sensed that. Then he asked me, is there anything that you're not happy? I couldn't speak. Then he said, if you're not happy, leave your job and come back. He told me directly, no, if you are not liking your job, you don't need to continue. Leave yours. But my mother, after 5 minutes, she called me and she said, you're not going to do that. Your father is not going to feed you throughout your life. You have to do something on your own. Don't listen to him. You have such a good opportunity that you got a job in a Standard Charter. People, they dream to have that. How can you leave job after working only a few months? You cannot. You have to continue. Then I thought, yes, like fine, I have to continue. I came back. I discussed a lot with my father. Then he suggested me, why don't you start on your own? Why don't you do something? My father was a banker turned businessman. He used to run carpet factory. I used to help him in his carpet factory also when I was in a school. He had seen me, the way I was managing his workers, his design, his money and everything. So he said, he had a belief in me that he told me he can do it. I was just 21 years that time. After discussing with my father, I thought, why I'm not having this idea before? Let's start. Then from next day, I started looking for a bank loan. He told me that I cannot support you the amount of money you'll be needing for your business. You have to do something by yourself. Then what I used to do it, during my lunchtime, I do still remember our lunchtime used to be half an hour to 45 minutes. But my boss was so sweet, Mr. Surasa, I do remember his name till now. I used to tell him, sir, I have to go for my lunch for my home. I cannot eat here. I didn't tell him that I have to go and knock the doors of the banks to ask for the loans. I told him that I have to go my home to eat my lunch because I cannot eat this oily food. Then I used to skip my lunch and used to go to knocking the door of your banks. But they rejected me a lot, many times. They didn't believe in me. I was just 21 years. They thought taking a loan from a bank and running our own venture, I might not do it. I might not, cannot. But one bank, they believed in me, is NCC Bank. He said, I'll give you. I trust you that I can support you. I feel after talking to your vision, your ideas, what you want to do it, definitely you will bring some changes in our country, and I trust you. I want to support you for your project. That day, I realized when you speak about your new ideas, people might not help you on that. People might not believe in you, might not understand you, but there will be someone who will believe in you, will support you. Then after that, my journey in IEC started. I started at first with computer education, IEC as an institution with a computer education and fashion designing. I was not doing well in the fashion designing. I had in the first 13 students only. I remember the number, 13 students. But my computer was doing very well. For me, the revenue part was so important to support my business, to pay my loan back, to stand myself, or to support me and my business. I needed revenue. So those revenues I used to get from computer educations, computer courses. Then I told my husband many times, when we are getting many business from doing a good business from computer, why shouldn't we expand? Let's close fashion and interior. Let's close. But he told me, he believed in that. He saw a light from that tunnel, and he told me every time, he reminded me many times to me, this will give you one day recognition in Nepal. Don't close it. Let's continue for more. Let's continue for a few more years. I did. But the year 1997 to 2001 was a very, very struggling time for me. I still remember the financial crisis, many things that I had to face during that time. But like slowly, when my students, they started doing their business, when they started getting recognitions, when they started doing wonders in Nepal, we got the recognitions. We got, then youngsters were very aware, like they came to know about fashion designing is also the chorus that we can do it something in Nepal. Interior designing is the chorus that we can do wonders in Nepal. Slowly that awareness spreaded. Then from the year 2004, 2003, the number of students have increased amazingly, I can say that. We were doing very good. Then I sensed, I thought, then when I am doing very good in Kathmandu, why not to expand my business? Let's expand. In the year 2003, we started our second branch, that is in Pokhara. After doing that in 2003, then when we launched Nepal Fashion Week in the year 2004, then no looking back for IEC. I think in 2005, our company's turnover was 5% high. The growth was 5%, 500%. The growth 500% for a company, that also for a fashion designing or interior designing was very, very high. So I thought, now I need to think something else also. I have to have something different also, I need to do it. At the same time, in the year of 2007, I was looking for a preschool for my son. I have been to many different preschools, but I thought and I decided I have to have something very good preschool in Nepal. This is an untapped area where I can do a lot, and the children of Nepal, they have a right to get right education and age-appropriate education and international standard education even in Nepal. Then I was looking for a preschool chain, for a Nepal international chain, and then happened EuroKids. When I started EuroKids, we did lots of investment. Even I didn't have much saving after that. People, they told me, do you really believe after having this much of investment that you can do well? And this is just a preschool. See the amount of investment you have done. See the facilities that you are providing. None of them, like anyone here in Kathmandu, have started preschool in that way. I said, people will pay for quality. People will pay for their children's education. If I want to do something different, if I am committed for a quality education in Nepal, then definitely people will pay. In the first year, amazingly, in the first year, it's so hard for anyone to come in a break-even in their business. But we were. We were like in a profit in the first year only, right? So then that made me more confident in my work. And my happy parents, they came to me and they suggested, why don't you start your elementary school also. I told him I have a plan, but not immediately. I want to start my elementary school also, but not now. Then one gentleman, he was a secretary, first secretary from Bangladesh embassy. He came to my office and he told, Madam, I'm so happy the way you are nurturing my daughter. My daughter is getting all kind of education, what I dreamed for. In Nepal, that is also in Nepal. I want to continue with you. I want to keep my daughter in your school only. She is in upper KG. Why don't you start grade 1? Then other parents of upper KG also, they came to me and they requested. There were many schools. I don't know why they liked the way I was running school. They came to me and they told me, why don't you start elementary? In that way, we started Euro School in the year of 2008. Now, if you see, I remember the number of students that time, the same number again, 13 students that was in a class 1. But we thought, and that's also what I did, I started Euro School in the same premises where we had Euro Kids, where we have Euro Kids. Then grade 1 and grade 2, I run in that only. After grade 3, we shifted to